Think we're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the last AMA of this year. It's been not an easy year, but also a pivotal year for PARSIQ. So, yeah, as you know, our team has been running the 12 days of PARSIQ campaign in December, which is something they do every year to have some fun after a tough year and say thank you to the community and to those that have supported us throughout the whole year. And today is the last day of this campaign. And if you've been paying attention, you would have noticed on our 12 days of PARSIQ blog, we've been giving out a daily clue. And as some of you have figured out, if you combine all of these clues together, you will get a seed phrase. This seed phrase can be used to access a wallet that has 2,500 PRQ tokens inside. In addition, some funds for gas to transfer it out. And as of right now, there are 11 clues available. And I will be providing the final clue later on this AMA stream that you will need to solve the puzzle. And you will need to visit our 12 days of PARSIQ blog after this AMA to get the correct order of the seed phrase. And our product team has also set up a nice smart trigger on the wallet containing the prize, which will be immediately sent to the PARSIQ trading channel on Telegram. And this way, everyone will know the moment that the prize has been claimed. So good luck to everyone. So I think I'll start with taking some questions, and we can get to the clues and prizes a bit later. What does PARSIQ? Why the name PARSIQ, and what does it stand for? Well, it's a play on parsing, because we are parsing the blockchain, and IQ, which kind of means smart parsing. And hopefully, as PARSIQ is doing something similar to Google, like Google gives you the most accurate and fastest results from the internet, PARSIQ gives you the most accurate and fastest results from the blockchain. That hopefully this will catch on one day, and instead of just Google it on the internet, you'll say just PARSIQ it on the blockchain. Can you reflect on 2022? What has it been like being the CEO of a blockchain company during this crazy year? Well, luckily for me, I joined the industry in 2018. So I co-founded PARSIQ in 2018. So I saw two and a half very tough years, which was 18, 19, and beginning of 20. And so for those who came in 20 or 21, this seems like pretty crazy what's happening right now. For me, it's not that bad. I mean, it's bad, obviously, because the industry grew at a very fast pace and to a scale, and now is the more you rise, the harder you fall. So it's probably, yeah, it's been tough on many. I'm speaking to startups that had trouble raising right now, and those who raised in 2021 when it was the time of easy money, they cannot raise follow-up rounds. Some still can, because it all depends on what you're doing, how you're approaching it, and how much effort you put. Have you built anything valuable? Do you have anything to show? Do you have an actual product market fit? What's your vision? And so on. But I can see this year and also next year being very, very rough on the majority of market participants, whether they're investors, traders, startups, tech enterprises, and so on. It won't be easy. But the good part is that if you survive this, the better the feeling when the better times return, whether it will be in 24 or 25 or who knows when, it will all be worth it, because the market is already being cleansed, but it will be cleansed even more. Those who cannot survive, it's the cycle. It's the cycle where the those who cannot sustain themselves, those who cannot find their motor or product market fit, they will have to shut down. They will have to leave, which is too bad. But that's kind of how it goes, because those who will survive will thrive. And if in 1819 it was a big question whether PARSIQ will actually survive, then right now I can personally say, like, there is no question. We're in a pretty good position. We have product market fit. We have clients. We have a very good technology. We have a strong team. And even if these tough, macroeconomic tides are longer, they will take longer, to resolve, then I still feel like we shouldn't have a problem. We will always find the capital necessary to grow, because we have that market positioning right now. We have something to show. What are the current PARSIQ services generating current revenue, cash flow? Can you share approximately how much revenue is being generated? So as I mentioned, it was a bit of there was a lag when we switched focus from the PARSIQ legacy platform, the monitoring platform, to the new technologies, the PARSIQ network, the Tsunami APIs, the data lakes. So it's a weird year in that sense, because most of the old clients are still on the old platform, and they are still using it. A couple of more have joined, but our main focus hasn't been growing the user base there, but it was releasing the new technology, the new platform, and getting alpha testers on board, which we did successfully in summer and September. And from those alpha testers, some have already converted from to paying customers. But the majority are still in trial stage or are in negotiations for us to build them a dedicated data lake, which also gives us a one-time integration fee and recurring revenue. So I think it's really right now not fair to. So there hasn't been much revenue growth in the last 6 months because of this dead period in terms of revenue between the switch. Hence, I think maybe Q1 would be a good time to reflect on what's the growth. But right now, it's looking good, because no one is really offering this model of data lakes and custom-made, custom-tailored DeFi NFT data, and this individual approach on the market, in addition to our technology being probably one of the fastest, if not the fastest, and then the most reliable. So we need a little bit more time to roll out the integrations, to roll out the data lakes, for the current clients and testers to finish alpha testing, beta testing, and the trials. Then I think we can show some solid growth. Could we have some clues and hopium about the future PRQ tokenomics model? I think I've actually sent out a message what it will be about in the Telegram group, Telegram channel. So the idea is the tokenomics will be very tightly tied into the public SDK and the public marketplace. So using the SDK, any third-party developer, any third-party team can build their own data lake. A data lake is pretty much a sub-product. They just source the information from Tsunami. And the very interesting data lakes can be built for all kinds of use cases. So they can build it, they can run it on the PARSIQ network for free. So running, hosting, computational power, storage, calculations, everything will be done on the PARSIQ network. and the PARSIQ network will not charge them for deploying and running the data lake. It will be free if they stake a certain amount of PRQ tokens. As long as they stake them, they can run their data lake there. They can even monetize the data lake, so make it premium, and there will be a revenue split between the creator of the data lake and the PARSIQ DAO, the DAO treasury. And how it works is the whole idea is that more data lakes built means more PRQ staked, locked from the circulating supply, and additional revenue into the DAO treasury from the revenue split. And of course, the DAO will have certain voting rights in terms of what happens to the treasury. Again, I'm planning a CEO letter on this topic in the beginning of the year to give more clarity on the PRQ tokenomics and when those will be implemented. But this model could be quite sustainable because building and running your data lakes for free is a very attractive proposition for developers, and you don't have to spend money. All you need is some PRQ, which you can also rent from IQ if you don't want to buy it. So it makes sense. The community supports your decision to delay the listing until more bullish times. If market conditions continue to be bad, would you consider pushing back the listing date until the next bull run? The listing that's already confirmed is open-ended. So we don't have an exact ETA. We told the exchange we're taking a small pause and we will reevaluate in Q1. So we'll see. The thing about timing the market is that it's tough. We don't know a bull market until we're deep into one, because it can always be sort of bear market relief rally, echo bubble, or anything else really. So it doesn't mean that we have to time it, but I think it just doesn't make sense because there's maximum fear contagion post FTX. It just makes sense to wait and decide, reevaluate later. This is a listing that I think some of you will be happy with. It's quite a decent listing. In addition to those, as I've mentioned, the 2 integrations of layer 1, layer 2 blockchains are ready. There are more data lakes ready, and again, we're not in a hurry to roll them out, not because of any kind of Bitcoin price movements but because it's holiday season, and post FTX contagion still going on. So there's just no hurry in this. There's no benefit, but they're all ready. Maybe we'll even roll some of them out before end of year, and then the next, in January. I'll let the team decide on the exact schedule, but everything is ready to go, including the blockchain integrations, new data lakes, interesting ones, and the listing, among other things. Among some, finally, as we discussed, we've talked a lot about that partnerships and the potential use cases with traditional tech, Web2 companies, governments, and so on and so forth. So some of them are starting to bear fruit. Some of them are even getting signed. So lots to look forward with. Took time, but here we are. Can you provide some examples of how PARSIQ is being used or could be used in the future to solve real-world problems? Well, think about it like this. I mean, blockchain and distributed ledger technologies in general will be used for a lot of things in the future by, people, by consumers, by investors, by traders, by companies, by enterprises, by governments, whether the use case is finance, settlement, remittance, supply chain, I don't know, carbon credits registry, health and medical, anything really. In addition to all the NFT use cases we can see and so on and so forth. It's all on-chain data. It all needs to be made accessible. So because you have a lot of data, there's no easy way to ask, to get what you need really fast by asking a simple query or a simple question, or monitor a specific, fine-grained things. And this is everyone will need that. So I mean, I know it's a very generic answer, but it's kind of true, because everyone will need that data. And the only question is, how do we package it? Right now we have, developer APIs, devs can use it, people with more technical knowledge can use this. Can we simplify it that business managers can use this? Can we simplify it that retail users can use this? And this is part of our future roadmap. Hi, Tom. PARSIQ had launched a campaign which provided 1 year free access to Tsunami and data lakes. How many projects have joined the campaign, and what's the review of using the products? So honestly, there weren't a lot. There were maybe 1-2 dozen projects only who applied, and not all of them actually fit the criteria. That means not all of them were affected by the FTX collapse. But they are all interested in using them. So the BD team is in active talks to onboard them, a number of them as clients. I think the big objective for PARSIQ is mass adoption. How do you see big companies using PARSIQ as key to your growth? Well, it's again, it kind of ties in with one of my previous answers, because there is some kind of use case that all big companies, Web2 companies, are pursuing. Why? I know, because they're reaching out to us. We're getting intros to them, because they're all looking for service providers who could help them with blockchain. They are not very good at blockchain, but they're slowly hiring dedicated blockchain departments. So it's going to get better. It's going to get faster at some point. And data infrastructure, they cannot function. They're the pieces of the products that they're doing utilizing blockchain cannot function with data infrastructure. So I don't think they have a really choice but to get a data provider. And if it's one that can custom tailor specific things for the use case fast and efficiently, not to mention being reliable and everything else, I think this is a major market opportunity, as you will see as we start to roll out the more Web2 traditional partnerships. Hey, Tom, can you please give us the current state of the roadmap, and can we expect a new CEO letter from you in the coming weeks, months? Yeah, I will send out a CEO later in either January or February, covering 2023 and onwards, including a high-level roadmap, as well as more details about the new tokenomics. But the plan is still short-term: more blockchains, more data lakes, more clients. A bit more. Then the next step is obviously the public SDK with the marketplace, with the new tokenomics and the DAO, so that everything can work in sync. And that could allow for a lot of interesting possibilities. And after that, as I mentioned, we're considering a retail-facing kind of explorer, but not like Etherscan Explorer, but something that would be able to give you things use case specific, dApp specific. So it's much more valuable data than generic Etherscan or BSC scan data. Is to add to the previous, we're also considering whether to give like some side services like developer tools around the data, and things like RPC endpoints and a bunch of other things. So there's a lot on the table. Question is focus on prioritization. I hope to give more clarity in the CEO letter in the beginning of the year. Is Elliotrades partnership with PARSIQ still active? Is Elliotrades superverse using PARSIQ as its backend database solution? We've actually worked with Ellio and Superfarm to provide some data solutions on the old platform. I have not got in touch with him about Tsunami and data lakes just yet, so haven't been in touch with him for a little while. I know the IQ team has spoken to him about the imposters game, and he's interested in exploring that. But the pipeline is just too big, so it's a good idea to catch up with him after New Year. Will 2023 be the most significant year for PARSIQ? If so, what can we expect? I think one of our goals is to become a really unique and leading. I mean, we are already in a way a leading data provider in the space. I would say certainly in the top somewhere. But I think the increase in market share, more clients, more users, more partners, more Web 2 and Web 3 projects, companies onboarded, which will also give us more credibility, outside of the crypto native space. Maybe even some government related contracts, which should be hopefully coming soon. This is the goal. Basically, if we cover this, we're in a position to take major market share and become the industry leader in 2023. I'm not touching right now upon all the roadmap aspects because they all come in addition, but this is the high level goal. When do you think you will step down as a CEO if PARSIQ becomes as big as you plan? Well, it's a good question. I mean, I've definitely considered this, that at some point, I should, remain on the board, but step down as CEO when PARSIQ reaches certain size and milestones. When exactly is a tough question. Is the best time to do it, but I think there's maybe limits to what I can provide. Once PARSIQ becomes from a startup into this enterprise player, that maybe I did what I could, and I could still help by being involved in strategic things. But at that point, maybe the company would need a new CEO to take it further. When exactly that will be, I don't have an answer right now. Let's see. Data and information is power to companies and organizations. Yes, it is. Data is the new oil, as we all know the quote. So I think obviously data is extremely important, but in the Web 2 growth era, data is important mainly to the centralized participants, the ones who control the markets, and because they can monetize data, they can sell it, and so on and so forth. Like Facebook, Google, they have access to, that's a business model pretty much, to monetize personal data. Now the blockchain changes that because the data is public. It's trustless, it's immutable. But the problem is it's unstructured, it's huge, and you cannot get what you want like you want it. When you do a Google search, you wait for milliseconds, maybe seconds at most, before you start to wander off. You are not used as a user. You don't want to wait for more than something. When you and that's not the user experience that can retain users. So you need to find what you want as easily as possible, as fast as possible, and you want the results to be accurate. With blockchain, it's tough because the blocks are mined based on the order of the blocks contains transactions. So the previous transaction for this DApp with this contract can be thousands of blocks away. How do you get what you want? Because you want only the data for this contract or for this type of event, and this is what PARSIQ solves. It gives it makes blockchain data easily accessible, universal. As fast as possible, the data is reliable, and it's already transformed. It's not raw. You can transform it so it actually gives you valuable insight. So it gives you knowledge and to make decisions. That's the idea. Does the PARSIQ team having full governance of PRQ have any benefits if an exchange like KuCoin or Coinbase goes insolvent? Could the PRQ be salvaged somehow and users be compensated? Well, theoretically, as you know, we have the governance function. In certain extreme cases, we can freeze, the governance board can freeze certain, bad actor wallets containing PRQ, the assets specifically PRQ token. But the question is how to do the due diligence on the whole situation and how to compensate. How do we know who held how much on an exchange? So it would be a tough process, but at the very least, they could be salvaged. How would the redistribution and return process work? I have no idea. But yeah, the worst could be mitigated theoretically. I'd like to get Tom's insight on PARSIQ in 2025, 2026, after their current roadmap and all the data lakes. What's the overall vision in terms of new services? Well, obviously, blockchain will evolve a lot in the next 4 years. So we'll see mass adoption on the front of Web2 companies, and we will see a lot more blockchains being launched through multi-chain future. So the idea is to support all the chains and be the go-to data provider. Doesn't matter if it's a layer 1, layer 2, if it's a sub-chain, subnet, roll-up, or anything else, really. So if it has adoption, if clients use this, startups use this, enterprises use this, we need to support it. We need to be the go-to place where you get the data. And we want to expand further into adjacent markets like analytics and developer tooling, because the number of developers will rise exponentially. And the alpha you can get, from blockchain data, the analytics will also be huge. So it will be like a larger, tech company. It will all center around data, but adjacent markets like developer tooling, things like to debug smart contracts and build analytics on top, and much more. The general vision is to empower people with blockchain data. So it doesn't matter who you are, like a retail user or institutional one. So you can get the power will be at the tip of your hands. So you can not just get it as fast as possible, you can get exactly what you need and in a format that will actually give you value, so you can make decisions based on this data. So think about like the Google for blockchains. How will Tom be spending his Christmas? Hope he has a well-deserved break. Thank you. I always spend with the family. Christmas is a purely family holiday, so I spend the 24th evening with the family, making some kind of meat roast. I don't know, duck, something else, and presents and the usual, very traditional Christmas here in Estonia. What do you think about the idea of moving PRQ staking to a more decentralized chain, L2? Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't see this as a priority. BNB chain works perfectly well. It has very low gas fees, and it works. With that said, why not expand? And for example, why not use Arbitrum or something else? Regarding the IQT airdrop, if I staked 100k PRQ since the beginning of the IQ protocol, but never moved 90k PRQ for a day and back, will this greatly affect my share? So you can move it. You can move it in, out, add, remove partially or fully. and the calculation will be the weighted average. So that means your percentage. What is your 100K or 90K or 10K PRQ? What percentage of the whole pool that was at that time when it was in the pool, and also the period of time. So we can do a post on the full mathematics there. Yes, there will be a dashboard. I think I mentioned this before. So we're working on a dashboard where you can see API calls and among other things, and you can see the growth, the number of calls, per day, per week, and so much. So you can see spikes in usage and all kinds of other stuff. There will be a live dashboard available for everyone to see. How do you mitigate the possible lack of clients because of the bear market? Well, honestly, this bear market is better than the last one. Why? Because there are still people building, and the last one most just left. So I still feel there is a large untapped market, including those who are just starting to build, including those who have issues with their current data infrastructure, and including the Web2 companies who are now not I don't see them being afraid and running away from this industry, but vice versa. Some are seeking to gain exposure while the market is as bad as it is. So I see there's still a lot of clients. The problem probably is that the big deals will be slow, while the small deals for small startups, they can run out of money. So there will be issues, but I don't see an issue in the number of clients that we can attract. There's a huge market opportunity. So, is PRQ always bought and used, or is there an option to only pay in fiat for services which does not use PRQ? Yeah, there will be an option to use fiat for certain services. I will cover this in the CEO letter, which will be exclusively PRQ related and which will have the fiat option. So since PARSIQ has a lot of different aspects, the company and the suite of products, the pricing and the payments will be approached differently. I will cover this in my upcoming letter. All right, let's see. I think we're in a place where I could provide the 12th and final clue. So the clue for the 12th and final answer for 12 days of PARSIQ. So someone can go and claim the prize. And here's the clue. So the clue is, if it is not blank, do not fix it. I repeat, the clue is, if it is not blank, do not fix it. And as mentioned earlier, at the conclusion of this AMA, something will be posted on our blog, which will help you figure out the correct order of the seed phrase. So good luck to everyone on getting this, and hope this little bit of fun was nice. Like a nice distraction from all the seriousness everyone has endured in this this year in this industry. So let's wrap it up. I'll be back next year with some other sessions. We'll invite some other team members onto the streams, and I will also prepare a pretty thorough CEO letter to really give as much insight as I can into next year, which would include roadmap, tokenomics, and different types of everything that's coming. Really, everything that we have in the plans here. So I see there's some other questions coming here. I think it's we'll leave them for later. I will do a separate IQ protocol session in the next year, and there's a lot to look forward to. In for PARSIQ itself, in terms of what the team has prepared. Like I said, it's a big partnership, the enterprise grade clients, the blockchains, the listings, everything prepared. We'll be pushing them out one by one. There's no hurry, but and should be a packed beginning of the year. For everyone, I really want to thank the community. We really appreciate your support throughout both the good times and the more difficult ones throughout the whole year. We hope to yeah, we hope to really meet your expectations in terms of what we do next year, and want to wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year if we don't speak or see before that. Thanks everyone. Have a good end of the year. Bye.